Hey guys, I'm with my friend Tanya today, and we're gonna start with one of her favorite songs. Set, go.
This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire.
So tell us why that's one of your favorite songs.
Yeah, so I really love Alicia Keys in general, but this song specifically is really motivating and empowering. It's an anthem that reminds me, of our strength and power as women, especially with the chaos in our lives and in the world, literally on fire, that we can rise up and lead with strength and overcome adversity. And I think I relate to just Alicia Keys' coming of age story and her resilience. I got to see her Broadway show in New York recently, and it was just so moving. Yes, literally. So that song especially just fires me up anytime. If I forget my own strength and power, that song just.
She's amazing.
She really is, right?
She's so beautiful. I feel like inside and out. Not that I know her personally, but all the things I've watched of her, and her songs are just so uplifting and empowering, and she does such good work in the world to help people.
Yes.
Yeah. I need to see her live one day.
She's a superstar.
All right, so moving on, what's something about you that people might not know, something, whether it's a passion, a hobby, or an interest that really lights you up?
Yeah, so I think most people who know me know my passion for nutrition, health, and wellness. And movement included. I've recently really taken on Pilates, and so I've been talking about that a lot. But I think what people might not know about me is how much gardening and plants light me up. You'll catch me admiring the plants in the space, or stopping to take pictures of flowers on the street. But there's something so satisfying about seeing new life and pruning dead leaves and weeds and soil to create these beautiful blooms and new sprouts. So gardening and planting, propagating. My brother-in-law has actually really inspired me to become a better plant lady. I'm learning tips from him all the time. And actually yesterday at the wellness event, the Solana Beach Kiln event, I learned from someone there that I believe it's called Mushroom Meadows Farm in Escondido. Have you heard of it? So apparently they are an organic, sustainable mushroom farm since the 50s. And they provide compost and free soil to the public.
Oh wow!
And it looks
awesome.
So super nutrient dense. And so I'll definitely be making a stop there soon for my next garden.
Maybe you can share on something. Maybe we should do another video about, because I do feel like green plants and flowers is so healing. I would like to one day create a sanctuary, but when I have a bigger space, because it really does ground us.
Absolutely.
Nature and Mother Gaia.
Yes, being in a botanical garden and just admiring just the life and nature. Absolutely. And I think about a lot of the work we're doing and planting seeds and watering them and reaping the rewards of that and the patience of gardening over time. So it really is, life-giving and energizing.
So now I'm already more ideas on future videos for us to talk about.
Yes, we'll have a planting series. Stay tuned.
And then also comment if that's something you'd like to get involved in, or if that's of interest to you. Okay, so now we were already talking about this earlier. We ended up doing our video later because we were talking just to each other about life and everything. And that's again why I love Kiln, because I meet so many amazing people. So we got carried away just talking before even doing the video. So talking about travel in a place that matters, is there a place you've traveled to that really stayed with you, and what made that experience meaningful?
Oh yes, that was a tough question. We were caught up, talking about our travels and all the amazing places in the world and in our country, and I think Japan is really a place that stood out to me and continues to just live in my heart and mind. But I think they are really an example society in so many ways. Not only do they have one of the blue zones in the world, so one of the, I guess the ageist, right? The Centurion's capital, where longevity, people grow old and age really well for a lot of reasons, right? Obviously from a health and wellness perspective, I really relate to their food culture, fresh foods, and their ways of eating, their communal culture, right? So the relationships and connection to each other and to community.
I brought that up as a side note because Ron mentioned Japan also, and I remember us talking about it and kind of gearing up for this, but it just seems to be a commonplace that brings so much peace to people. And
Yes.
like you said, the blue zones. So I mentioned it in our video because you reminded me of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their way of thinking and living and being
Mhm.
seems really prioritized very well.
Yes.
So I feel like we Americans might want to take some
Absolutely.
tips.
Yes, especially with, speaking of their living well, you might have heard of the term ikigai,
Yes,
right? Or
yes.
purpose. They're like why of living, and they have such like honor and like humility, but like humble pride in what they do. And
Right.
I think they value themselves, each other, their culture, and I think that really translates into, their respect for their environment, for, strangers, for foreigners, for people, for so yeah, I think there's a lot we can learn from them.
Let's go, America.
Yeah, let's go to Japan. Yeah, there's so much there. I remember being in the hotel room one morning, and they had on the news, like, they were basically telling their citizens to minimize waste, right?
Okay.
And ways to do that, and that, the trash cans are like this big, and just in general, you'll walk around the street and not find, contrast that to our abundance of waste here, right? So there's so much about Japan that I
There's
enjoy.
another video idea. I feel like,
Yeah.
just to help us as a community and culture and society, like baby steps. I mean, there's plenty of information out there, but I feel like at our level and in the Kiln community, we can maybe just do more sharing, so we can each play a bigger part in doing better for our world and our environment.
Absolutely.
Because it will take a collective, and we each can make small changes, whether it's seeing that can that's in a regular trash can, and I'm also guilty, like making sure that goes in the correct recycling can and space. So yeah, we can all do better to help our world, so we're all here longer.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like
thank you for
aging well.
sharing. Yeah, Japan. People keep mentioning it. So I was telling Ron, I think I've only been there once, but I need to go back when I have like a longer time to really explore and immerse myself into the culture and the people.
Absolutely, and I would go back. I feel like that's definitely a place, and different parts of the country to explore. I did the main kind of big cities that a lot of people go to, but
the smaller would be nice.
More rural, off the beaten path, into the mountains, and so
all
much
the
to
travel
see.
talk just be like
Wander the west, and like, let's get on the plane.
exciting. Yeah. All right, so now moving into, I think both of us have such a passion for wellness, but for you personally, like what's a habit, like a wellness habit or routine that really helps keep you grounded and mentally, emotionally, physically, holistically well?
Absolutely. I have a few routines. One in particular is prayer. I believe in the power of prayer. From the morning, the moment I get up, just kind of grateful. I wake up with gratitude for another day, right? And I say some prayers before I even step out of bed, kind of setting my mind and spirit straight and focused and grounded. I think especially during, unknown, uncharted times. I'm in a season of transition, starting a new business, and kind of lack of visibility for the future. So prayer really helps just keep me aligned and focused. And with that, absolutely sets the tone for my day. And not just for myself, right? I pray for people I care about, what's going on in their lives. So I really believe in the power of that. And I think, with that naturally, my physical body follows, right? So then I want to move in a way that honors my spirit and my mind. And so joyful movement, like walking, and I take on exercise in my weekly, those are my weekly wellness routines. So I've taken on recently like running and dance classes and just a lot of variety of movement. And that really just sets me like fully mind, body, and soul on the right track.
And thank you and again, I'm hearing a lot of like themes and commonalities, because even Ron brought up, the importance of walking, and movement is so important. I need to be more consistent, but with movement that's what keeps us alive and going and strong, our joints and everything. So let's all hold each other more accountable to get more movement, and even just simple walking, taking a break up. If you work in a co-working space or a regular office or at home, remind yourself or set an alarm to take a 5-minute walk around the block or around whatever space you work from.
There are actually studies that show that 1 minute breaks every hour do more than the 1 hour at the gym or the 1 hour exercise at the end of the day, right? So, you know, for cardio health, for circulation, for so many aspects of health, that like regular movement. So I love that reminder to
let's remind each other.
Get up and do some squats.
Hey man, we only have one life, so it's like, you know, how we strategize our days to ensure longevity is important. It's difficult because we live in a very demanding, you know, long list of things we got to do, but all of those little things we do will help us be happier, healthier, and live longer. So
absolutely.
All right, so tell us a little bit about the work you do and what drew you to it and keeps you passionate about it today.
Yes, so I am a functional medicine-based, dietitian. So what that means basically is that I look at the root cause of symptoms from a systems-based approach. Tongue twister. But you know, you might go to a conventional doctor, for example, for a specific symptom like reflux, right? You might see a gastroenterologist who decides to do some testing, maybe a biopsy, prescribe PPI medication like omeprazole, right? Kind of suppressing symptoms. You might go to your primary care doctor and find out that your blood sugar is out of range, and so they prescribe you metformin, right? Another kind of suppression to symptoms. They're not looking to necessarily ask why this might be happening, what other aspects of your life, of your stress, of your diet, of your movement, right, that might be contributing to these symptoms. And root causes, exactly. Or connecting the dots that maybe what's going on your skin, a dermatologist might not connect the dots to what's going on in your gut, right? So I think I'm in a unique position to kind of look at the whole person and recognize that you're one being, all your organs and your systems are interconnected. Likely there's something going on, you know, when your symptoms are just a manifestation of what the underlying root cause. And so, I'm in a unique position, I think, to focus holistically and integratively, not just on food and nutrition, but like obviously via food as medicine, but we can also look at your environment, at what are your stressors, how are you sleeping, you know, how are you moving, and how is that contributing to your overall health and wellness. And we certainly, you know, take an evidence-based approach. We can look at data and labs, right, to dig deeper and have further understanding of like what approach you might want to take, including supplements, to ultimately feel better and to, you know, get to the root cause of your ailments for sustainable change. Because if we don't have our health, what do we have, right?
It's the most important. And I love that you do things from a holistic standpoint. Because, you know, that definitely is in alignment with what is important to me to help people with, because we can't just put a band-aid on things. We do have to understand the big picture, the mind-body connection, the connection of all of it, to look at alternative solutions and options, and not just, you know, the medication approach. But you know, I'm just very anti-medication, so I'm always trying to inspire people to look at more holistic alternatives, because there's always another way, or ways, plural, that might heal whatever it is one person is dealing with. So I love that you're helping people with that. We need more of it.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I definitely think there is, you know, place and there's necessary like conventional care for a reason, you know, with imaging and pharmaceuticals, absolutely. But I do think this is like complementary to that care, right? And sometimes they go hand in hand, and sometimes there's so much we can do, like you said, without having to go to medication first. And oftentimes, unfortunately, our systems aren't really set up for people to explore those other ways, right?
And I feel like we're making progress, but and I don't want to take away, like, if medication is needed and necessary, if even for a small amount of time, then absolutely. But I think all of us understanding our options and the resources is really important, so we can make the best decision for ourselves, because we are all unique and it is case by case. And I just love that there are people willing to take that time with people to explain things and to dig deeper. We need to make sure we're our best advocate, and having, like, working with people that are also willing to be that advocate for us. So
absolutely. And I think, you know, I'm especially passionate about it because I came through the system myself, right? And I think a lot of functional practitioners have their own personal story, whether, you know, it's them or their family or someone they care about. And so, you know, going through my own health journey, that really led me to go back to grad school for nutrition, to pursue a career in educating and empowering others, you know, to make these small or big, you know, life changes that could affect them, you know, positively for the rest of their lives. So yeah, I'm definitely very passionate about this space and continue to be, you know, when I see people light up or connect those aha moments of like, oh my gosh, that, you know, that energy crash in the middle of the afternoon is like related to how I'm eating or not eating, right? And I think just culturally, there and you know, our society of like work, hustle culture kind of deprioritizes, you know, as you know, as we've talked about, like our own wellness and self-care, you know, plug for the Wellness at Work event tomorrow. But yeah, I think, you know, unfortunately that hasn't become necessarily mainstream or ingrained in, you know, our work culture with self-care.
But I do think the more of us that are in this space and the more that we connect as people that like to help others be more well in mind, body, spirit, and the more conversations we have, and like Kelly's event tomorrow, talking, you know, bridging that gap of work and wellness, like these are the strides that we're continuing to make, and I love it. Because I have seen the progress, and I think collectively, you know, the ripple effect will continue to like be a bigger, you know, effect on our communities and our world, and we need that because it is a very I'll just say interesting time in life, and that's putting it lightly. But I think we all can feel, you know, the energy and the shifts that have happened over the course of the last few years, and we have to take care of ourselves and each other in this interesting time.
Absolutely.
And now moving on to if somebody was listening today that needed a little encouragement, what message would you want to leave them with?
I would say don't give up on yourself, ever, right? Whether that's from a self-care, like we were talking about, self-love perspective, whether that is, you know, a hope or a dream, or a health journey that you're on, you know, don't give up, right? Whether or not someone else or anyone else believes in it or is on board with you, you know, what you're going through is worth the fight. And I would say, you know, lean on your circle, right? Reach out to people that you trust or that want to support you, and take small steps in the right direction. Because you really never know, you know, who or what is waiting for you on the other side. So I would say don't give up.
Yeah, and I love that. I mean, we all need that reminder to keep going, whatever it is we're going through. And it reminds me of a saying I really like, and I had it on a wooden thing, but it said like, follow your heart, it knows the way. Because we can be distracted by outside, you know, influences and pressures, but I think if we're true to ourselves and we keep pushing forward, like you said, like don't give up. You know, we have to keep it up in a world that will have amazing, beautiful moments and times, and of course inevitably have its fair share of challenges.
Absolutely.
But to kind of wrap up, because we could talk forever and we will have more conversations. But we're actually trying to go do a sound bath and enjoy that wellness. But as a contact follow-up, if people want to learn more about you and stay in touch and connect and have, you know, further conversations and get your help, where can they find you online?
Yeah, sure. So you can find me on my website. It's just my first and last name, TanyaMezher.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn with the same name, and also Instagram. So it's actually at TanyaMezher.rd for registered dietitian. And I am working on creating more of an online presence, so definitely stay tuned for that.
And then just real quick, because some people may not know, but like it's Tanya, Tanya,
Yes.
and then how do you spell your last name?
Yes, Mezher, Mezher.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening, and again, we will have more videos and conversations in the future. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, Katie.